here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 50 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Parts, better prices every day.
The new Falken Wildpeak AT3W all-terrain tire is engineered with one of the deepest tread depths on the market for long-lasting wear and uncompromising performance. For the ultimate tread life and traction, get the Falken Wildpeak AT3W.
Oh, the new Nosferatu drink. Oh, Kyle Busch. Oh, cash, credit, or debit?
Well, man, I'm fresh out, but it is my drink.
Oh, I mean, not really. I mean, it's more my drink.
I'll trade you my hat.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Get rowdy.
What's up, guys? Ryan Turk here, and I'm really pumped to announce that we're bringing on my good friend Chris Forsberg on the Team Black Magic. Woo! Let's make it official, bro.
When I was a kid, I wanted to touch the skies.
I wanted to invent things.
I wanted to protect others.
I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to make a difference.
I knew that one day I would be the difference.
I am a special missions aviator.
Clinical nurse.
Pararescueman.
I'm Captain Chris Niels, and we are American Airmen.
See more at airforce.com.
When you love your car, you wish you could check on it anytime, from anywhere. BlackView cloud-connected dash cams let you do just that. Your BlackView keeps you informed of status changes through alert messages. So when something unusual happens to your car, you can visualize it on your phone with Remote Live View and stop worrying. BlackView over the cloud. Me and my car connected. Find yours at blackview.com.
Limits are meant to be pushed. It's the only way progress is made. Some prefer to pace themselves. But I choose to floor it. Chase down your passion. Never halfway. Hankook Tire.
The new Falcon Wild Peak AT3W all-terrain tire is engineered with one of the deepest tread depths on the market for long-lasting wear and uncompromising performance. For the ultimate tread life and traction, get the Falcon Wild Peak AT3W.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 50 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Oh, wow. You're Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Hi.
And that is the new Nas Rowdy drink?
That's it.
Can I get a picture?
Sure, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Get rowdy. When I was a kid, I wanted to touch the skies.
I wanted to invent things.
I wanted to protect others.
I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to make a difference.
I knew that one day I would be the difference.
I am a special missions aviator.
Clinical nurse.
Pararescueman.
I'm Captain Chris Niels, and we are American Airmen.
See more at airforce.com.
What's up, guys? Ryan Turk here, and I'm really pumped to announce that we're bringing on my good friend Chris Forsberg on the team Black Magic. Woo! Let's make it official, bro.
When you love your car, you wish you could check on it anytime, from anywhere. Blackview cloud-connected dash cams let you do just that. Your Blackview keeps you informed of status changes through alert messages. So when something unusual happens to your car, you can visualize it on your phone with Remote Live View and stop worrying. Blackview over the cloud. Me and my car connected. Find yours at blackview.com.
Limits are meant to be pushed. It's the only way progress is made. Some prefer to pace themselves. But I choose to floor it. Chase down your passion. Never halfway. Hankook Tire.
the new NOS Rowdy drink. Oh, Kyle
awesome, huh?
Busch. Oh, cash, credit, or debit?
Well, man, I'm fresh out, but it is my drink.
Oh, I mean, not really. I mean, it's more my drink.
I'll trade you my hat.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Get rowdy.
The new Falcon Azenis FK450 All Season features long sweeping tread grooves designed for maximum water evacuation, while tapered notch grooves help grip snow packed in the tread. For year-round performance, get the Falcon Azenis FK450.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 50 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Parts, better prices every day.
When you love your car, you wish you could check on it anytime, from anywhere. Blackview cloud-connected dash cams let you do just that. Your Blackview keeps you informed of status changes through alert messages. So when something unusual happens to your car, you can visualize it on your phone with remote live view and stop worrying. Blackview over the cloud. Me and my car connected. Find yours at blackview.com.
The Falcon Wild Peak MT tire features step-down supports to enhance stability and handling while preventing stones from becoming trapped in the grooves. Be ready for any terrain with the Falcon Wild Peak MT.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 50 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better prices every day.
Oh, wow. You're Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Hi.
And that is the new NOS Rowdy drink?
That's it.
Can I get a picture?
Sure, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, no. Get rowdy.
Hello, Trip fans, and welcome to a beautiful day here on the O'Reilly Auto Parts streets of Long Beach. This is round 1 of 8 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. Again, it's a beautiful day. Contrast to last year, we have the forecast is going to be beautiful and cloudy. Coming off these vehicles, we are your co-host. We are your host. I am Jared Deanda, and with me once again, Ryan Sage. Ryan, it's great to be back here once again.
It is really awesome to be back 1 year away from our 15th anniversary, kicking off year number 14 in 2017. We've got a great lineup of drivers, a lot of things changing in the offseason. It's probably one of the shortest off seasons for me in terms of preparation and seeing all the things that have been developing. But love being back here at Long Beach, great weather, and a great way to kick off 2017.
Yeah, the diversity as far as vehicles and progression seems to be a reoccurring theme for every year for me, because the progression of the vehicles, the build qualities. But you got to talk about the championship. You know, you have your first ever three-peat champion, Chris Forsberg. He's back. He's teamed up with Ryan Turk. Also, Vaughn Kent Jr., Chelsea Nofa. They team up. who's a standout in your mind as far as the offseason coming into this first round?
Well, I think really the continued diversity of the series and seeing some of the Eastern European guys and the one gentleman from Russia come over really kind of mix things up, you know, put their hands in the hat and see what they can do to compete against the world's best. But you're right. Teams have formed together. They've become more of a business and a competition unit, and we're seeing that with Vaughn and Chelsea, with Turk and Forsberg. Forsberg obviously popping an engine over the weekend, is going back to his V8 motor. So a lot of crazy things happening in this short period of time. Looking forward to a great competition.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the entire season, but it all kicks off here on this iconic track, and it is the Widowmaker. It can make or break you right out of the gate. But Ryan, if you could, let's walk through the event format.
So today is our setup day. It's qualifying. All the drivers are competing for positions here, 1 through 32. Each driver will compete in 2 non-consecutive runs. Drivers will receive a score each run, keeping the higher the score, and 32 drivers will move on into head-to-head competition tomorrow. We have 30 drivers, so that is going to be 30, and ties are broken according to the lower qualifying score. And with more information on the judging, let's bring in the third member of our broadcasting team, Ryan Lantain.
All right, thanks, Ryan. So first of all, while we're looking at the judging criteria, the first thing we'd want to see is the track map itself. So as we bring the track map up, you'll be able to see that we now have sectors. So as we score the track, not only are we scoring the car as it goes through each zone, so the touch and go, outside zone 1, outside zone 2, we're going to actually cover in between those zones as well, just to be a little bit more specific with our scoring, to catch little mistakes that the drivers are making. So we have the touch and go 1 at 5 points, and then if you look at outside zone 1, outside zone 2, both were 10 points each. Touch and go 2 would be 5 points, and the last area would be 5 points. So that covers not only that outside zone or touch and go, but kind of the area before and after as well.
So we've got a change in the way that we're judging in terms of sectors as opposed to points on the course, but the points are the same, yes, and style is also the same. So tell us what you guys are looking for in style.
So style's still broken down into the same 3 criteria. We have initiation, fluidity, and commitment. You might hear us referring to IFC, and this is what we're referring to during the event. They're all worth 10 points each. Initiation, we're looking for how early the drivers are initiating. We want to make sure they initiate by that the latest initiation point, which is what we tell them in the drivers meeting. We're also looking for how quick they get to angle and how smoothly they do that. On the fluidity side, we're looking for the rotation of the car throughout the course. Does it look settled? Does it look really in control while being very aggressive? And then on the commitment side, throttle commitment, we're looking at how aggressively the drivers will get out to those zones. Are they using the momentum of the vehicle to get out to zones, out to the edge of the track, depending on what track we're at? And just making it look like they're really pushing the cars to their limits.
And we've also made a change more in language as opposed to an actual real significant change in the way that we talk about things that might receive a 0.
Right.
We don't use the term 0 anymore. What is the term that we use, and is there any changes in that category?
So now we're referring to things that are incomplete on track. So things that used to be 0s, we now call incomplete. So a spin out on the track would be considered an incomplete. Drifting in the opposite direction that a driver is supposed to be on a certain point in the track would be an incomplete as well. And on the safety side of things and distraction in tandem, hood hatch, trunk, and or anything latchable basically opening during the run.
All right, well that is a top line look at the judging criteria here at round 1 at Long Beach. Thank you, Ryan. He will be joining us in the broadcast, but up next, we've got our main event for Friday afternoon as we prepare for qualifying.
This presentation of Formula Drift has been brought to you by Blackview, Over the Cloud, Nexen Tire, Driving Tomorrow, Nitto Tire, Fueled by Enthusiasts, O'Reilly Auto Parts, better parts, better prices.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 50 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices, every day.
Oh, wow. You're Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Hi.
And that is the new Nas Rowdy drink?
That's it.
Can I get a picture?
Sure, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Get rowdy. All right, well, welcome out. We are ready to turn some tires and burn some tires here at round one of O'Reilly's Auto Parts Streets of Long Beach. Make some noise real quick, if you will. I want to make sure you guys are awake out there, can hear me, all safe and sound. Right on. Thanks for skipping work, skipping school, joining us out here. Again, round one kicking off the 14th season. It's crazy to think just 14 years ago it all started in Atlanta, grew from 4 rounds, and now we have 8 rounds, which does include the Canadian round up north. All right, here we go. Our first driver of Formula Drift rookie comes all the way from Poland. It's a 2-car team. This is Peter Vincek, 2JZ powered S15. Bit off that rear clipping zone into this sector, that rear clipping zone there, and around that final Black Magic Intense clipping point. Now, take note, that Black Magic Intense clipping point, those are being utilized this year. It's black. It's one of our activations with one of our new presenting sponsors, the Black Magic Pro Championship, and it is not the wall. They have that black, you can see that Black Magic Intense. Ryan, walk us through here with Peter's first ever Formula Drift run.
Yeah, Peter's starting off pretty strong here, laying down a pretty smooth and consistent run, and one thing that we'll want to bring in Ryan Lantain about is to talk about the different way that they're judging this course this year in particular. Last year we were using zones and inside clips. This year we're actually using sectors to break up the course. And so Ryan, what do you see from Peter on his run?
All right, seems that Ryan's mic is having a little bit of issues there, but we'll get him up here in a little bit. But our 3 judges do remain the same. This is our longest running Formula Drift judging staff over the 14-year history. But Brian Eggert, Ryan Lantain, and Andy Yen. Andy Yen, how many years is this? 13 years you've been judging? 13? Because I mean, 12 years? So you drove for 2 years and then been judging. And we are getting more and more gray hairs. You know, I don't see gray hair on your head, man. Nice. You do have longer hair than previous years. But again, so Ryan Lantain, are you live?
I might be. Yeah, there I am.
There you go.
Yeah, so Peter, we saw some better practice runs from him actually in the last little practice session that we had, but not a bad run overall. But we have changed some of the ways we judge it. We'll talk about that as we go through qualifying.
All right, so Peter Vincek, he's our #1 qualifier because he's our only qualifier. Score of 74 there, a score of 74 for Peter Vincek from Poland. The Wardhouse Drift Team Falcon Tire S15. Like I said, he is part of a 2-car team. We'll see the other one after our next driver. And here's the first run for Little Tex, Nate Hamilton, car number 144, and Juku Racing. Oh, and already some issues out of the gate there, locking him up. Very interesting. That is not how you want to start it. Also, Ryan, it will be noted, both Ryans, I say that primarily to Sage, but Lantain as well, there's only 30 cars. You know, so that could work out, you know, great, but you need to get a score. In this instance, that's an incomplete run for Nate Hamilton.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely need to earn your position in the battle for tomorrow. And, you know, Nate, I'm sure that he'll be able to lay down a run, but obviously for run #1, just didn't go his direction.
Yeah, was that, I don't want to say freshman jitters, but because he has been in pro and he earned his pro license via the Pro 2 route, as opposed to Peter, he was a champion in his native country. So, rounding out this 2-car Wardhouse Drift Team, a lot of buzz here in the off-season. James Dean, we've seen him drive here in the States before in Formula Drift, but now he's back, and I gotta say, he's with a vengeance. And he's, you know, it's a 2JZ powered duplicate cars from Peter. They flew the cars over here. They just arrived just this week. They shook them down. If you watched kind of the buzz in the off-season, you saw, you know, all the internet's blowing up. these guys, but James Dean here on his first Formula Drift run. Nice job getting all the way out, utilizing all the track into the outside zone. Look at that. Again, he is one to watch this year. A lot of people, all Ireland is cheering him on. A great, I mean, that was a great way to start his 2017 season, Ryan.
Yeah, a tremendous start there for James Dean, certainly ticking all the boxes. A great initiation. You saw how deep he got out to that first outer zone there and then right into the second outer zone. Let's take a look at this, and then Ryan, pipe in and let us know what you think about this first run from James Dean. Pretty consistent initiation. You can see he gets really out to this wall with great angle there, and then a nice transition back around. How do you take a look here for run number 1 with James Dean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
One of James's key attributes, I'd say, is how smooth he is when he's out there on track. And again, right here, very, very smooth. His transitions were pretty flawless, and he got really, really wide out to the touch and go and to outer zone 1, which we haven't seen a lot of people doing even in practice today. So he's one of the guys that was doing a good job of that.
How do you, obviously you're looking at the run, but how was his approach onto that final front clipping point? Is that where you wanted him? Because he seemed to have like a wide swing and then kind of dive in. I know by comparison to last year, is that what you wanted similar to last year, or that run right there?
Yeah, we have a touch and go on the wall on the left side just before the inside clip. So as long as they're getting out to that touch and go, they can, we don't have a specified line from the touch and go to inside clip to finish line. So as long as they're finishing wide out to the wall, we're happy with it.
Okay,
wow.
So there it is, a 91 out of the gate. You know, a lot of threatening battles here. Give it a round of applause. James Dean in that Wardhouse Drift Team Falcon Tire S15 coming to us from Ireland. So quickly making some noise here in round 1.
I mean, that's definitely a rare. We didn't see too many 90s last year, so definitely setting the bar pretty high as James Dean, and living up to the hype in run number 1. It's a long season, but certainly starting off really strong.
Oh, Ireland's like, that's it, give the trophy. Championship's over. It's in the bag, James Dean.
Well, Jared, it's interesting. This is one of the first times since, I would say, Daigo Saito in 2012 that we've actually seen a pair of drivers bring the vehicle that they want to compete in from their home country to the U.S. Typically, drivers will come and rent a car, or they may work with another team with a car that's already built. This is a situation where these guys air freighted their car here, the car that they worked on in all offseason, and now they're competing in it, so that's pretty cool.
Adding to the international affair, coming to us from Russia, it is Gorgi. Gorgi in this NGK Sylvia S15 on Nitto Tires. Nice job, boy. Just bit off a little too much there under the bridge. So Gorgi, unfortunately, that will be an incomplete run. An incomplete run there for Gorgi. Ryan Lontaine just bit off a little bit too much there under the bridge.
Yeah, that's something that we saw a lot of last year in competition, was people spinning out in that very same area, and it happens when you're trying to be a little bit too aggressive. We always say we like to see sort of a reinitiation almost under the bridge, but sometimes people throw a little too much angle that they can't quite handle, and it gets out of control just like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's we saw that when it comes to head-to-head as well. So things are going to heat up here tomorrow for sure, but great weather. The forecast is awesome. I mean, this is just textbook. Hey, if you haven't already downloaded it, download the Formula Drift app. It has schedule, has info. It's going to, throughout the season, it's just going to get updated with more and more content. We just launched it, so, you know, have some patience with it, but it's really cool. Download the app, and it's available in iTunes and Android. Ryan, I see you're actually fiddling with it right now, checking it out. So you can watch the stream live, check it out, see some stats, schedule.
Yeah, there's a rewards program in there. You can earn rewards points for doing things at the venue, and whether you're on-site or off-site, send you prizes, really cool stuff in there, so check out the rewards portion of it. Have some fun with it.
All right, here we go. This is Rad Dan Burkett, Rad Industries' next entire Toyota Supra, getting out, really dancing with the tires there, staying on throttle, great looking car. He earned his license in Pro 2 last year in order to, as he says, live the dream. All right, there is Rad Dan, as he's simply known, from Washington, now lives in Costa Mesa. As let's take a look at this again here. Lontaine, do you think he went in too hard here?
Yeah, a little bit. He was very fortunate. He managed to keep the car out of the tires, and he stuck the run. It's not probably a high-scoring run, but at least he's going to get a score on the board. You know, in terms of commitment and fluidity, the score is going to suffer for sure, and his line score as well. So we'll see how the other judges complete their scores.
Yeah, that should be reiterated. You know, line, angle, style. Line, are you hitting clipping points? Angle, are you getting the car sideways? But style, initiation, fluidity, and commitment. Fluidity is, I think, really important just to make it look dynamic, make sure you have control, and you're not just focusing on one portion of the track. It's a whole collective piece. Yes, it's been broken up in sectors that you can kind of compartmentalize the scoring system, but overall you need to keep it running fluid all the way through. Ryan, anything else to add to that as far as criteria and what you guys are looking at?
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head, Jared. That was pretty much it.
All right, well, there's Dan Burkett's score, and as you said, Ryan, a 60 there, a 60 for Dan Burkett.
Yeah, so he was off 15 points on angle and 10 points on line, so he definitely left a lot on the table, and he only got 15 out of 30 for style. So.
All right, so there is Jeff Jones. He is on the line, so we could see James Dean. Yeah, Jeff Jones got some fans out here, and he goes hard, man, in practice. I don't know if you saw, he went hard at the wall here, right in front of the judging stand. Here we go, the Doc X hand-cooked tire. Woo, nice job. Got the Edelbrock supercharger under the hood. Nice job by Jones. See a little bit of correction there from the front wheel and rotates it around. You hear him lift it to kind of just gain some ground there, wrap it around that final front clip. Jeff Jones putting it down, but he's got an Edelbrock supercharger, which is a new setup for him.
And certainly one of the better feel-good stories in professional drifting is watching Jeff Jones really put all the pieces together for his career, spending long nights working hard, doing a lot of things on his own, and now coming together with a great program here. And Ryan, what do you see from Jones on his run #1 here in qualifying?
He had a long e-brake pull initiation, and going from touch and go to outside zone 1, he did a good job, but then he didn't seem to have the momentum to get him out to outside zone 2, so he had quite a bit of an e-brake pull to get out to that zone. But otherwise, pretty smooth, no major corrections. He did miss inside clip 1 at the end as well. We'd rather see him a lot tighter on that inside clip and finish wide. He kind of went wide off of that clip and then finished mid-track, so he could tighten things up a little bit at the finish line.
Yeah, it seemed like you heard him, audibly, you heard him lift off the throttle. Did he kind of know he was already out there and kind of gain some traction?
Yeah, we saw him twice in practice going really, really wide out there. Kind of scared us a little bit a couple of times. So I guess he needs to work a little bit on that line, getting around inside clip 1.
So again, myself and Ryan Sage, your hosts, and getting some insight from one of the Formula Drift judges, Ryan Lontana, for just joining us. We are live here on the streets of Long Beach, the iconic building there off in the distance, this iconic skyline. Next week, Long Beach Grand Prix on Friday and Saturday evening will be Motegi Racing Super Drift Challenge. As we await the score of Jeff Jones, and there it is, a 71. So you can see 28, 26, 17, and that is a 71 for Jeff Jones. Putting him into 3rd position. Coming up next, looks like the green headlights of Robbie Nishida. Robbie Nishida on Achilles radials into that touch and go. First rear clipping zone, about a half a car distance off under the bridge. Flew through the course. You can see that smoke trail, the smoke signal letting you know that he's on the throttle, the exhaust note. So good fluidity, but as far as placement of the car, Robbie Nishida, always an exciting driver to watch. I like his spirit. He's got a great spirit to it all, and I'm looking for really Robbie Nishida to flourish this year.
Yeah, having spent a lot of time with Robbie in Japan for FD Japan, he certainly was really excited about this year. He didn't know whether or not he was going to be able to do it, and he committed to it and was able to basically put together his program here. And you can see, I think, Ryan, you might say the e-brake pull is a little bit strong on initiation. How much do you guys allow for e-brake pulling on initiation? What is too much?
I definitely don't mind an e-brake pull on initiation for the guys that are using that style to initiate, but you don't want to see it pulled past the last point of initiation, or the latest initiation point is what we call it. And some guys are holding it a little bit longer than we'd like to see, but it's not going to knock more than a point or two, or probably a point off, really, just for that.
All right, well, we're cleaning house here as Robbie Nishida. A 72, so he just bumps right above Jeff Jones, so a 72. Like I said, very fluid. If he just had, I think, a little bit maybe, you know, and you got to think he's got a second run here. Let's keep it off the walls. Let's not do anything silly. Just want to make it into the show. Here we go, moving right along. A new car for the Butcher, Cameron Moore, Nameless Performance, BN Sports, Next Entire, GT86 from Battleground, Washington. That doesn't sound mean. He's out for blood here. Again, a brand new car. Cameron Moore around that final front clip. Again, another driver potentially playing it safe there. A new car, a new package for him, but Cameron Moore still run the 2J. Let's take a look at this again. Great looking car.
Yeah, Cameron Moore starting off here. You can see a little bit of a feint there, and then e-brake pull into initiation. And Ryan, I'm curious from your guys' perspective, when you take a look at Cameron's run, as opposed to judging points and an outer zone, what is the difference between that and the sectors with regards to Cameron's run here?
So previously, we'd only score the car on what it did when it was in the zone or in the touch and go area or at the inside clip. Now what we're doing is covering a little bit before each zone, clip, or touch and go, and after as well. So any mistake you make approaching or leaving a clip or zone, we're going to be able to catch that mistake and kind of corral it in with the score for whatever clip or zone you're near.
And there's Cameron Moore's score, a 68. A 68 for Cameron Moore. See, 25, 24, and 19. So a 68 puts him into number 5 position. And again, Cameron Moore's graphic inspired because his during the week job, he's a butcher. So you can see that big meat cleaver and got some blood splatters there on this vehicle. Next up, Pat Gooden. Got that Huddy Racing, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Hankook Tire, Nissan S13. Pat Gooden coming to us from Florida. Nice job. Let's see how he does. Good consistent throttle. Really standing on it, powering through the sweeper. Car looking very settled. Nice job by Pat Gooden. And you got to think, Pat Gooden coming to this round, you know, he got picked up by Huddy Racing. Huddy Racing, kind of infamous now because they built that GT586, or you know, excuse me, yeah. Anyways, but he popped his engine. So this is a backup engine. This is an engine from last year. He says this thing's tired. It might go this weekend, but right now he's looking strong.
Well, one of the most fascinating things from the perspective of, you know, say the FD office is really watching and hearing intimately what happens to these guys in the offseason and leading up into the event. You can see Pat swinging around the last corner here. Any standout moments for you, Ryan, as we take a look at run number 1 from Pat Gooden? Yeah, I saw a couple of better runs from him in practice. He's lacking angle in some areas. He might be pouring it on at the clipper zone, but just a little bit less past the zone. So one specific place would be past outside zone 2. You can see that he had a lower amount of angle than he probably should in that area. But like you said, he probably is down on power and trying to get through the course. He's probably trying to fill the course more than he is trying to do it with big angle.
All right, so as we wait for Pat Gooden, you know, all things considered, it is a run on the board. So again, he teamed up with the Huddy Racing, builder of that GT4586, the Ferrari engine under the hood of the 86 of Ryan Turk. And there's Pat Gooden, a 78, a 78. Look at that, puts him into 2nd position. So nice job there by Pat Gooden. Yeah. All right, so Charles Ng. He's in a new car. We've seen, I mean, Charles Ng has seen so many. Oh, no. So look at this. Next up was to be Charles Ng, but he is not there.
Yeah, we are getting word that Charles Ng is potentially out of the competition.
Oh,
we did get word from race control that he, at bare minimum, will not make his first pass.
And also after that was to be Farouk Gay, who I saw him, you know, during practice. I saw his car being tested. Right now, it's all about Jonathan Castro. Jonathan Castro, Jardou Metaldon Nexen Tires GT86. Castro, clean, tidy there. A straight line approach towards that final front clip, but quickly getting through this course.
Yeah, one of the members making up the very diverse Toyota Racing between Osbo Turk and Ken Gucci. Jonathan Castro setting out for his run number 1 here. You can see he initiates tries to push out to this first outer zone there, comes up a little bit short there, but brings it back around. Ryan, better job on outside zone number 2 there for Castro. How's the rest of the run?
Yeah, his car looked really settled throughout the course. You could see coming from outside zone 1 to outside zone 2, he set the angle and kind of forgot it. You just stayed on the throttle. You didn't see any movement in those front wheels at all. The car looked really settled, so his fluidity is going to do. He's going to get a pretty good fluidity score, and he just looked committed and solid throughout the whole run.
All right, so again. All right, there is Jonathan Castro, score of 77, puts him into 3rd place. All right, so Jonathan Castro puts him into 3rd place. I like it. Yeah, you know, we talked about progression just on the opening there, but if you look at some of the cars, the 86, you know, Ken Gushue was the first in it. Now they're really becoming common, and I like that. That just shows the progression of parts and readily available. Talking about progression, Kyle Mohan. This thing has seen many different variations, and right now he is he's looking really aggressive. Wow, look at that shimmy there. Oh, gets out to the touch and go. Whoa! Wow. All right, looks like that will be an incomplete pass, and you saw him on initiation, got out to that touch and go, and I think he puckered up there. He got a little scared.
Yeah, he had some good angle coming out of outside zone number 1. Got really close to the wall there, but almost kind of did the opposite that Jonathan Castro did. He did miss outside zone number 2. So, Ryan, were you seeing anything from outside zone number 2 into the area where he straightened out that led you to believe that that might happen?
Yeah, you could tell that he was a little too deep in that area. He threw, like you said, a lot of angle. That was probably the best run we've seen from him all day. It was looking very promising early on, but unfortunately, I guess he just went a little too deep, maybe in outside zone 2, and it carried him a little too close to outside zone 1 to outside zone 2.
Okay, and you could see warming up the tires there. Looks like Alex Hilbrun, IMR Racing. There's the standings. James Dean still leads the pack at 91, quite a departure from a 78. The second best score is a 78 compared to Dean. Making some noise real quick. That, I mean, when he steps out of the car, he's giant. He's a tall young man.
Big dude.
All right, Alex Hilbrun. Alex Hilbrun, IMR Racing. So again, that was an incomplete run for Kyle Mohan. That would be a non-score run. All right, Alex Hilbrun. Nice job there, but he's deemed the monster BMW. Big angle into that rear clipping zone. And wraps it around that final Black Magic Intense clipping point. Nice job there. And Alex, you know, made some noise in Pro 2, kind of crept onto the scene, but I think this year he's out for it. He's got a lot of comfort.
Well, we've been talking about him for a couple of years now, and after his really big finish last year in New Jersey, up on the podium, has certainly made a name for himself as a driver that is certainly one to watch. And right there from outer zone 1 to outer zone 2, Ryan, doesn't get much better than that. Maybe a little bit closer, but in terms of fluidity and commitment, it seems like he's checking a lot of the boxes.
Yeah, he was definitely on throttle all the way through. You could hear that he was committed. He wasn't lifting. He wasn't afraid to use the momentum and throttle to get himself out to those walls, which, of course, this track can be a little bit scary for it sometimes. You know, it's those walls do not forgive a misstep at all. So he did a really solid job. He was looking great in practice, and he's really carried it through to the qualifying.
Is there anything that you took away, Ryan, from the introductory drivers meeting, the first one of the year, talking about the Long Beach course here that drivers, either whether they're new or veterans, really wanted to know about?
I guess they're really looking to see how we're going to look at this new qualifying system in terms of sectors. That was something that they were concerned about. Yeah, that was the main thing, I guess.
That answered your question.
Just trying to give an inside eye.
No, I like it. It's good. This is where we kind of set precedents for the rest of the year, even the verbiage of no longer utilizing the word zero, because when it goes to head-to-head, there's no longer a number, allocation. And there's Alex's score. Look at that. He is tied for first currently with the 91, but again, without going off, he actually takes the lead, because how would it default to as far as he has a 91 similar to James Dean?
Well, he may take the lead depending on what his second score is and also what the second score of James Dean is.
All right, so they both have 91s. So right now, unofficially, it looks that Alex has the lead, or has the #1 qualifying position. Right now, Juha Rintanen. Juha. All right, so this is Juha's first run, getting all the way out to that touch and go. lighten up the Nexen tires into the rear zone. Seems that's the finished driver. You know, he's a very quiet, calculated gentleman. It's great to see him back here, and you know, he debuted that car last year, and looks like he got some more seat time.
You can see him coming out of the chicane here as he preps for initiation. You can see a lot of tire marks there, giving you an indication of just how drivers have been initiating in practice. Really deep there, touching the wall on outer zone number 1, coming back to outer zone number 2, a little bit short there, and then the setup here, Ryan, for this last inside flip. How do you interpret what you see here from Juha?
Well, I saw one e-brake pull going from outside zone 1 to outside zone 2. So if you compare that to a guy like James Dean, who did a better job through that area without an e-brake pull, that's where he's going to lose a point or two because of that e-brake pull. It was, you know, it's not as committed, if you will, as a driver like James Dean did in that area. His setup for inside clip 1 was not bad. His line was pretty clean through there to the finish.
And it seems that a lot of these guys are going for it out of the gate. Lantain is on initiation to get out to touch and go. And they, I mean, you want to get out there, but you don't want to bank so much on that touch and go where it throws you off your first rear clipping zone.
Well, that's the important factor throughout these tracks for qualifying, is you have to weigh all those disadvantages and advantages.
So an 83 for the Finnish driver Juha Rintanen puts him into currently number 3 position.
Just hearing some words from race control Jared. It looks like we haven't seen Chelsea Denofa come into the burnout box yet.
Oh boy.
And it looks like Matt Kaufman is the next driver that he will enter the burnout box. So that may give us an indication of what is transpiring with Denofa's car. We have no information. We're just hearing that potentially he is going to miss run number 1. So we'll find out if that is the case.
And we are high up in the sky in the race control tower, and I can see from here that Chelsea Denofa's vehicle is not in the pit area. So, but it could be in the hot pit on that back stretch. So
there's Kaufman, Jared. So now that he's entered the hot pit, that does mean pretty much confirming that Denofa will not be making his run number 1. You have to really wonder what's going on there. It seemed like everything was firing well in practice, but you know, in this sport, things definitely can go sideways real quick.
Yeah, and Chelsea Denofa, you know, if you haven't heard, Chelsea Denofa teamed up with Vaughn Gittin Jr. in the Mustang RTR team. So Chelsea Denofa's behind the wheel of a Ford Mustang this season, and just, you know, you got to remember, last year Chelsea Denofa came out on top, and kind of all eyes were on him. You know, getting a different car, teaming up with a Formula Drift champion and a veteran of Vaughn Gittin Jr.
Well, it's been 2 years since we've actually had qualifying at this event, because last year, this time last year, we actually canceled qualifying because of the incredible conditions that had happened because of the rain, the variable surface condition of this track.
Why did we not have it 2 years ago?
Well, we missed it last year,
right.
So they haven't qualified. This will be the first time in 2 years that they've qualified. So guys just breaking it loose here.
Yep. So Chelsea Denofa, a scratch on his first run. That'll be an incomplete run. And Matt Kaufman in that Roush Ford-powered S13, a brand new livery. Always kind of that fighter pilot scheme. Definitely a cool new look, almost monochromatic, but looking forward to seeing that thing under the lights, and got some reflective and flash graphics, checkerboard on the flares. So Kaufman logistically transporting his vehicle with Alec Honadale, so they're going to share some resources here. Here we go. Matt Kaufman, 959. Not getting out that touch and go. Good fluid, you can see and hear. Look at that, nice aggressive throttle lifting though, and then getting back on it. All right, so Kaufman not changing much, you know, having some words with them here yesterday, not changing much from last year outside of the livery.
Well, Kaufman having some really strong performances last year at Montreal and Seattle, trying to continue that momentum here. You can see kind of taking a little bit of a straight line approach, a little e-brake here into initiation, pushing out as far as he can to this wall. He's going to come up real short though, and you can see he's kind of in a middle line, letting look into that second outer zone. A lot of throttle here, big smoke, but Ryan, any takeaways here for Matt Kaufman?
Yeah, it was. It would have been a good run if he was able to widen his line a little bit. He just was off almost every single zone or touch and go, unfortunately. He had good angle coming through outside zone 2, but overall just, I don't know if it was safe on purpose, but it looked safe by staying away from the walls. So he's going to have to widen his lineup, get out to those walls, and make it a little bit more risky looking, I guess, for the next run.
Ryan, assessing that run, like you said, maybe potentially a little bit safe there, a 74. Do you think the drivers are taking that into consideration, that they are in the show for tomorrow, guaranteed? Where they qualify obviously dictates, what's going on there. Do you think they're playing it safe and just want to get into the show tomorrow?
Well, that is a possibility, knowing there are only 30 drivers. You know that all you have to do is put a score on the table, and he didn't do bad. He got a 21 out of 30 for style, so he's getting close to getting everything right, just kind of playing inside of a smaller bubble, I guess you could say.
Dean Carnage Carney back again with the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper on Achilles radials. Here we go, Dean. Gas Monkey Energy lid, so good kudos to him. Another Irish driver, really getting this Dodge Viper to work really well. Nice job all the way out to that touch and go, getting that wing. Well played by Dean. And into that final front clip. Well played by Dean. His team working feverishly. Earlier this week, they, from what I understand, they smoked a head gasket, so they worked feverishly to get that thing. So kudos and hats off to not only his team, but all the teams. But Dean put down a pretty solid run.
And into the night last night, I came back here after dinner pretty late, and they were still working on the car, packing everything up. So certainly putting in some work, as you can see, as he gets into outer zone 1 here. Maybe a little bit more angle you'd like to see. Makes a little bit of a twitch there with the front wheels from that outer zone 1 to outer zone 2, Ryan. And now finishing up here, what's a takeaway from Dean Carney?
Yeah, it's no secret this car is difficult to drive. The angle is hard to get out of the car consistently, and that's something they're trying to fix with the new one. Unfortunately, it's not ready for this round, and he's making the best with what he has right now. Again, people are maybe running a little bit safer because they know they don't have to push super hard, but we'll see what happens on the second qualifying run. Our first runs typically aren't too crazy anyway.
71-71 there for Dean Carnage Carney, and puts him into 9th position. So respectable run there for the Achilles shrouded Dodge Viper. Next up, what do we got here? It looks like Michael Essa, former Formula Drift champion. Michael Essa, might I add. No, wait. Yeah, sorry. Threw me off there. All right, so Essa Autosports Achilles Radial BMW. Looks good in practice. Nice flick there, the transition into the rear clipping zone. Good, consistent. You could hear him kind of blip the throttle, stay in it. Little blip shift around that final clip. Well executed by Michael Essa.
Well, Jared, Essa was certainly one of the more impressive drivers in the open practice session. Watching him get very close to outer zone 1 and outer zone 2. High risk maneuvers there for practice, and so certainly expecting really big things from Essa this year. He says the car is the way that he wants it. He feels really comfortable. You can see it doesn't get all the way out to outer zone 1. Better job on outer zone 2. Great throttle here as he wraps around this last inside clip, getting out to that touch and go. And from Ryan, from your perspective here, any takeaways from Michael Essa?
Yeah, like you were saying, in his practice run, he, in my opinion, had one practice. The one run that I saw from him near the end of the practice session, he really ran the line, the angle, the style that we were looking for. It was phenomenal. He would have had a very high score had he done it in qualifying. Now, this was not a bad run, but he didn't quite get out to the walls as well as he did in that practice run. So he does have some room for improvement, and we know that he can do better than what he just did.
An 81. So as you said, he's got that in his back pocket. I like how you use that. In practice, he would have won practice, but yeah. That's a great way of putting it. But right now, when push comes to shove, you got to put all the things considered. And speaking of last year, Ryan, if you can recall, I had some words with Justin Pollock. He seems a lot more comfortable. He's telling me this. He says the car just seems dialed. I'm good. I'm strong. The car's reliable. Last year, very different story. He took it hard into the wall. Had to tweak the car back, weld some things. Oh, and look at this. Okay, a little hiccup there out of the gate, but then refires it back up. Gets out to the touch and go into the rear clipping zone. Nice job. That Roush Performance Falcon Tires Ford Mustang JTP, and brings it around that final clip. You can see him just getting it around and wrapping it around. Nice job, full carbon fiber body, great looking vehicle.
Well, the question here, Jared, is where did Justin initiate? Because there's no rule in qualifying about how fast you have to enter. I mean, certainly he will lose some points for that, but I'd like to see where he initiated at to see if it's actually going to be a valid run. I mean, right out of the gate, you can see he leaves the line it looks problematic. Gets through the chicane here, and right there you can tell there's a little bit of issues as he tries to accelerate. Nothing happens. Now, if you look at this red and white marker on the right-hand side there, there's 3 of those. They indicate the last place that you can initiate. Now, he initiates far past that, so I have to wonder if the judges are just going to give a really low score, or if they're actually going to say, you know what, not a fair pass.
Right. So it looks like they are conversing here. So yeah, is it incomplete because due to the initiation? Was it just enough? And Lantain?
Well, we're debating, first of all, whether that was, it was definitely past the latest initiation point that we had denoted in the drivers meeting. And what we're looking at now is that a chaseable run that would have transferred over to tandem? Could you actually chase that? And we're of the agreement that you probably couldn't. So I believe we're going to zero it out completely. And
incomplete, incomplete run.
We're going to zero out his qualifying score as an incomplete run.
There you go. All right, just to clarify that. So
he had, good for him for trying. That was a possible complete throwaway. He made an attempt, but I think that whatever mechanical issue he had, it has to be taken into consideration that it wouldn't be chaseable in a tandem situation.
Well, it might have been the announcer's curse. I was talking about how comfortable he was and how great he feels and all calm, but and everything looked great except the beginning just there and a late initiation. So
you did it.
I did it, right? It was
you did it.
I hate that. Like I was, you know, I'm not going to say it was my doing, but yeah. Alec Honadell and debuting a new livery, a new program, Urban Air Hoonigan Next and Tire S14 from Destin, Florida. Alec Honadell, one to watch, as I said, logistically, the car being transported and teaming up with Kaufman. What do you make of Alec over the years?
I got a chance to talk to him a little bit yesterday. He seemed in really good spirits. You know, he's quite a chill character. They got some opportunities to test the vehicle leading up to Long Beach and making some adjustments. They said they really worked on balancing the car better this year. Last year they were a little bit front heavy. They got an aluminum block this year, and now the car is balanced at 50-50 from what he says. So feels more confident in the vehicle, thinks it's going to be a better overall car from performance-wise. And given some of the incredible tandem that we saw from him, especially last year at Montreal with guys like Chris, he's a danger for sure.
Yeah, he's a serious threat once he gets that car dialed and his mind is right, because you know he does have racing acumen from previous sports, even jet skiing. He raced jet skis and now he's really found a good place, and he's got an all-white suit. We'll see if that pays off or if he's going to get dirty, but right now it's just all about him and the track here. Alec Honadell in his supercharged V8 S14. Yeah, buddy, getting all the way out there. But then there's that, again, that offset. Getting all the way into the outside zone. Good job on the second one. And then around that final clip, so a straight line approach there. Loud, proud. Good, had some moments of greatness there, but, got out to touch and go. But don't focus on that. That's a touch and go. You got to focus on the rear clipping zone, Ryan.
Well, we've seen drivers either hit one or the other, and not so often hitting both of these outer areas here. You can see Alec does a pretty good job getting out here. James Dean was one of the two guys that really went from wall to wall, and that's what the judges want to see. How much of an infraction do you see there, Ryan Lantain, for Alec on outer zone number 2?
Well, first of all, he almost had a double initiation. He got the thing to angle a little slowly, and then the car carried out, lost a little bit of angle, and he pulled the e-brake again. So that was a bit of a deduction on his initiation. He did miss outside zone 1, and he was really late on outside zone 2. He got out to the wall, but right at the end of that zone. So kind of a, I wouldn't say sloppy, but he did make quite a few mistakes throughout the run, and you can see with a 67. We've seen better from him today in practice, and this run could have been a lot better. So hopefully his second run he'll clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, and he needs to do that. I mean, he does have a score of 67, puts him into 13th position, a 67 for Alec Honadell. Right now, Ryan Turk on the start line, the Gum Out Nameless Performance Hankook Tires Toyota 86 from New Hampshire. Always a crowd favorite. Here comes Ryan Turk. Ryan Turk initiating into view of the judges. Out to the touch and go. Well played, tight to the wall. Minimal corrections. And into the final clip, Ryan Turk looking poised, eyes on the prize. And the fans here in the building applauding him, so seems to be a pretty solid run there. Ryan, do you think that knocks down James Dean?
Well, it's certainly going to be close, and we were looking at Ryan getting towed off after practice, and so grateful that he made it back. Now watch how deep he gets here on outer zone 1. He doesn't get all the way out there, but here on the outer zone 1, sorry, touch and go, he actually scrapes the wall there, and then pretty good job on outer zone number 2. So Ryan, how does this compare to the two guys that are tied for first place right now with the 91?
Well, from my perspective, his initiation was a little bit slow. You could see he lost a lot of momentum on initiation. He was off throttle for a long period of time. But once he got back on throttle, he did a really great job of staying committed to the throttle, even though it looked like he was going to hit that wall at outside zone 1, which he did touch gently. But that's the commitment. That's that dedication to the line and the throttle that we want to see throughout the course. So you can see that my fluidity and commitment score, 9 out of 10 for both of those. So he gets a 26 out of 30 there.
And there it is, a 90 for Ryan Turk, puts him into the number 3 position after the 2 other drivers that had a 91. It was James Dean. Who else had the other 91? What was that? Alex Hilbrun. Thank you for reminding me that. And there you see it. Hilbrun, Dean, Turk, 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. The Goosh, Ken Gooshie, another Toyota 86, the Gretty Performance. Nice job. Nexen tires. Under the bridge. Ken Gooshie, leader of that Boost Brigade brand. Well played there by the Goosh. Ken Gooshie, Formula Drift veteran. And just after the finish line, you see him coming to a halt, but it looks like that, I'm assuming that will be scored.
Well, I got a chance to talk to Ken quite a bit during media day, and he said, you know, our car is very solid this year. What we did is we took a look at where we had some mechanical problems, and we tried to strengthen those areas because they felt that reliability is going to be a key factor for them this year. You can see he starts off pretty good, getting out to that touch and go and outer zone number 1 and 2, and then wrapping back around here. But Ryan, he shuts down. That was after the finish line, yeah?
Yeah, it was just past it. We were just talking about it, so he's going to get a score for sure. Really smooth-looking run, committed on the throttle, just like Ryan Turek was. He could have been a little bit further out on a couple of areas, but overall, pretty solid run.
Yeah, very similar builds. I mean, you know, Nameless Performance prepping Ryan Turk's vehicle, Gretty Performance prepping Ken Gooshie, but both 2JZ anti-lag. That's the cracking that you hear, keeping him in the zone. And 86, well, coincidentally, a score fitting of his vehicle, but an 86 for Ken Gooshie.
Yeah, good run for Ken. He'll have something to build on for number 2, and he'll head back and make any changes that he needs with that data that he's acquired after run number 1 and see where everybody else lines up. We've got a handful of zeros here, but now Daijiro Yoshihara heads off.
Another Formula Drift veteran and a former Formula Drift champion, turn 14 distribution, Falcon tire. Now he's running a Subaru BRZ, turbocharged V8 as opposed to the factory EJ engine, which is the boxer engine, but now, oh, buddy, a wide swing. Is that oh, man, that's going to hurt. Is that an incomplete pass? Is that a scoreable run?
Well, we'll take a look at it. Obviously, the biggest factor is going to be what transpired there at that last inside clip. You can see his die starts off, takes a straight line approach there, initiates back on the throttle. It doesn't get all the way to that touch and go area. Better job on outer zone 2, nearly hits it with the wing. But right here, Ryan, what happens to die as he sets up for this last inside clip?
Well, I think what started it was the transition between touch and go and outside zone 1. And from there, as he got, I think his line got off from that point. And when he was getting out there, just didn't get out to the touch and go 2, which would set you up properly for inside zone or inside clip 1. So I accredit it back to that transition from touch and go 1 to outside zone 1. It was very slow, and I think it threw off the line for the rest of the run.
Man, big bummer there for Dai Yoshihara. He's saying that, you know, I had some words with him yesterday, and he's stoked. It's just him in the car. He thinks the car's there. They did a lot of testing, saying it's looking strong. I love that. And I mean, you can get so much knowledge just following these guys on Instagram and all the social media networks. It's really great on how well the sport has just progressed over the years. Lantain?
So we talked about it because of that straighten at the very finish line, before the finish line, and the loss of control. It was almost, there were two straightens. He straightened, kind of got back to angle, and then drove over the finish line. So unfortunately, we're going to have to give that one a 0.
So that's a 0, meaning it's an incomplete pass. So Daijiro Yoshihara will have to get a score on a second run. And just to clarify, Ryan, we have 30 drivers, 30 spots, but will a driver advance into 30 if they have 2 incomplete runs?
No, they will not. They will not.
Here we go, Matt Field, the 777, running the signature teal and blue. And Matt Fields almost called the Powers there. Matt Field, nice job around that final front clip. The Beast from the Bay. You know, he's our most recent winner of an event.
Well, yeah.
Being late last year.
I think if anybody has what you would say off-season momentum coming into this year, it's Matt Field, because he completely dominated the last 2 events, got 2 wins back-to-back. You can see, obviously, he drives his heart out every time, and certainly he is one to watch for that championship chase. I mean, if you're going to be winning events, you're certainly going to be right up there with everybody else. Ryan, as we take a look, wrapping around Matt Field's run, what's the takeaway there?
Really clean looking run overall. I liked especially the last, I guess, third of the run from outside zone 2, which he was a little bit off of, but through the touch and go to inside clip 1 to the finish, that was a really smooth portion of the track for him. But he was good on throttle commitment through the course, just a little bit off on some of the zones.
So Matt Field, Falcon Tire, Vaptasia, Arc Performance, Nissan 240SX from San Jose, California. 85 and 85 from the 777, Matt Field. So you can see there a 31 out of 35, 29 out of 35, and a 25 out of 30 in the IFC, initiation, fluidity, and commitment. So looking for some big things from Matt Field. Very fun driver to watch, a very aggressive package. And rounding out the teal and blue Falcon vehicles, denoted by Odie's got his signature orange around the base of the vehicle and the mirrors, as Matt Field runs his signature neon yellow. Here we go, Odie Bakshis initiating. The drift wheels, Falcon tires lighting them up. So there we go. Not getting the touch and go, but filling that first rear clipping zone, approaching the second one. And he's back behind the wheel of an S14. I mean, just the days of Vegas drift, he was in an S chassis. Now he's back behind the wheel of a V8 S chassis. And, you know, for being, you know, I mean, what is it, all the way to a 95, 96, that you had the S chassis. So, you know, considerably an older vehicle compared to some of the, you know, Toyotas and all that. But let's take a look again here at Odie's run. How does he fare against the rest of the pack in his run here?
Well,
Sage and Lantain.
Just, you know, out of the grit of a top 3 finish last year, Odie coming on real strong. He feels very confident in this vehicle, moving back to the 240. And you can see it in his performance here. A pretty solid run overall. I'm sure he'll go out there on run number 2 and make sure that he gets the positioning they want. But Ryan, from your take, what do you see from Odie on run number 1?
So if you look at the points layout for the touch and go to outside zone 1, the first touch and go is only worth 5 points, but the outside zone 1 is worth 10. So if you're going to make a sacrifice because you can't get both of them, I would say the safer bet is to probably stay off of the touch and go a little bit and make sure you're deep on that outside zone 1. And that's what Odie did in this case. He sacrificed a little bit on the touch and go, but went deep in outside zone 1. And I think it's going to pay off for his score, as you can see here.
And it's going to set him up for success too, because if you get to that outside, the first outside zone, you're going to nice clean, and look at, there is an 89. So an 89 puts Odie currently into 4th position. So almost playing the numbers, playing the, let's call it what it is, the game of those sectors and getting out, and good fluidity.
Yeah, because outside zone 1 and 2 are both worth 10. And if you miss outside zone 1, it's going to be really hard to get out to outside zone 2 without using the e-brake or some other way to get yourself out there other than momentum. So it seems like the touch and go is the one to sacrifice if you're going to sacrifice anything.
So you got our top 5 currently: Alex Hilbrun, James Dean, Ryan Turk, Odie Bakshis, and Ken Gushi. Now, former Formula Drift champion Vaughn Gittin Jr., finishing 3rd last year. He's been hitting 3-wheel motion in practice. It's kind of his signature thing now. Vaughn Gittin Jr., Monster Energy Nitto Tire, Ford Performance, Mustang RTR. Here we go. Vaughn into the touch and go, getting all the way out there into the rear clipping zone. You see the bumper flex, takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Vaughn Gittin Jr. And around that final front clip, you can see that back end just squatting like a bullfrog. Make some noise for Vaughn Gittin Jr. Ryans, what do you think? Does that take down a 91? Does that have what it takes? I mean, he used all of the course here, Lantain.
Yes, he did. You can see he got really deep into the touch and go, but was still able to scrape that wall on outside zone 1, which almost got him all the way out on outside zone 2. You can see that he had a little bit of room to play with there, but not a lot. And look at the angle as he comes over the finish line. You know, completing it with, yeah, he got 5s on the last 2. So the touch and go and inside clip 1, he maxed out his points.
Yeah, dragging bumper under the bridge, doing the bumper tap. exchanging paint, and it just shows the car control. So a great run there from Vaughn Gittin Jr. Remember, hashtag FDLB if you're watching from around the globe. Let everybody know we are live qualifying local time here to 10 p.m. And look at a 91. So 91 seems to be the highest score that all these guys can get. And looking at that, going off of without having a second score puts them in the second position.
Well, that's going to make the second run very interesting because it's going to be ever so important for those three guys to get the better of the second score or better their first one. So, yeah, that's going to get real interesting on run number 2.
Yeah, could they better not only their competitors, but also can they better their first score? And that will ultimately get them those. But right now, those are coveted 2 spots because you're basically going from here to the 16. Frederick Osborne is brand new Rockstar Energy Nexen Tires Toyota Corolla IM. That's a mouthful and that's a face full of smoke as he debuts a new car, a 2AR engine. So he's running a 4-cylinder turbo under the hood, similar to his previous package, but obviously a new setup here.
Well, you know, Steph said on Tuesday when asked, are you nervous about the new car? He said, I'm always nervous.
It doesn't matter.
But Steph, you know, he's a consummate professional, and you can see right there, big angle in that small car right there. You can tell it has a lot of potential, and sometimes with these smaller chassis vehicles, speed becomes, you know, is such a factor in being nimble on the course. So a little bit reminiscent of the Solstice from Reese Millen years back, but a good start from Frederick Osbo, and you got to know he's have confidence in his builder.
Do we know the specs on the chassis? You say smaller vehicle. Do you mean physically or actually wheelbase?
In terms of the wheelbase, yeah.
So that brand new Toyota Corolla IM, I think it looks cool. I always like wagons, so it's definitely unique. It's signature. You cannot mistake it for any other car. So the Papadakis Racing team developing that vehicle, and a psycho engine. I don't know if you saw some of the photos. I saw them on Speed Hunters, and Larry Chen posted some photos and videos debuting that vehicle just this week. And there's an 82, so puts him into 9th. Now remember, Osbo finishing 2nd, coming down to that final round, finishing 2nd last year. So your defending champion, first ever 3-time Formula Drift champion, Chris Forsberg. Now Chris Forsberg and Ryan Turk did an Instagram takeover, and I don't know if you took note, but he's back behind the wheel of a V8 370Z. He's planning on debuting a V6 twin-turbo anti-lag setup, but now he's back behind the wheel of the VK56. And Forsberg has had some great success here before in that NOS Energy Drink 370Z on hand-cooked tires. And brings it around. I mean, that's textbook Forsberg right there. But like I said, in the offseason, changing teams. His car no longer operated by the previous team that took him to a championship. Now he's operated by Nameless Performance, which is the same team that Ryan Turk is operated by.
Well, once he made that run in this vehicle here, it's a vehicle that he has to stick with for the entire competition. So we won't get to see the new vehicle run this weekend. But you can see Chris comfortable in the car, doesn't get all the way out to the touch and go. Great job there as he makes that transition back around to outer zone 1 and 2. And Ryan, from your perspective, it looks like Chris pretty much picked up where he left off last year. Maybe not a number 1 qualifying position, but certainly very comfortable in that championship-winning vehicle.
That's a good way to put it. Very comfortable. He pushed just enough to get a good score, but I don't think it's going to be the number 1 qualifier at the moment.
So, Chris Forsberg awaits his score, and that would conclude everybody's first run. And we'll get to see all the drivers go again for their second run. Thanks for joining us out here again. This is round 1 of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Streets of Long Beach event. And this is the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. An 89 for Forsberg puts him into that number 5 position. So we have it's not a 3-way tie because there is a points leader, but 3 drivers have a 91. It's really crucial on how well they do on the second run because we have 30 drivers, well, 29 actually right now because Chelsea Denofa was a no-show, Farouk, a couple drivers. But so again, how many drivers are going to be putting down scores?
Going to commercial
right
break,
now,
right?
Our top 2 drivers will have a bye run. So we're going to take a short commercial break. Thanks for joining us. Jared Deenda, Ryan Sage, Ryan Lantain. You are at the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. When we come back, run 2 of qualifying here on the streets of Long Beach.
This presentation of Formula Drift has been brought to you by Black Magic, Own Your Shine, Air Force, Aim High, Hankook Tire, Driving Emotion, Balkan Tire, NOS with Complex 6 for high performance energy.
When I was a kid, I wanted to touch the skies.
I wanted to invent things.
I wanted to protect others.
I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to make a difference.
I knew that one day I would be the difference.
I am a special missions aviator.
Clinical nurse.
Pararescueman.
I'm Captain Chris Niels, and we are American Airmen.
See more at airforce.com.
What's up, guys? Ryan Turk here, and I'm really pumped to announce that we're bringing on my good friend Chris Forsberg on the Team Black Magic. Woo! Let's make it official, bro.
When you love your car, you wish you could check on it anytime, from anywhere. Blackview cloud-connected dash cams let you do just that. Your Blackview keeps you informed of status changes through alert messages. So when something unusual happens to your car, you can visualize it on your phone with remote live view and stop worrying. Blackview over the cloud. Me and my car connected. Find yours at blackview.com.
Limits are meant to be pushed. It's the only way progress is made. Some prefer to pace themselves. But I choose to floor it. Chase down your passion. Never halfway. Hankook Tire.
Oh, the new NOS Rowdy drink. Oh, Kyle Busch. Oh, cash, credit, or debit?
Well, man, I'm fresh out, but it is my drink.
Oh, I mean, not really. I mean, it's more my drink.
I'll trade you my hat.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Get rowdy.
The new Falcon Azenis FK450 All Season features long sweeping tread grooves designed for maximum water evacuation, while tapered notch grooves help grip snow packed in the tread. For year-round performance, get the Falcon Azenis FK450.
Welcome back. We are about to get ready for run 2 of qualifying at the O'Reilly Auto Parts Streets of Long Beach. This is round 1 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. These iconic buildings making and forging this Streets of Long Beach skyline. Next weekend playing host to the Toyota Grand Prix of Long Beach, which we will be taking part of both Friday and Saturday night, the Motegi Racing Super Drift Challenge. I'm Jared Dienda, co-host Ryan Sage, and we are getting insight on behalf of the 3-part judging panel from Canadian judge Ryan Lontaine. Did we say Canadian judge Ryan Lontaine, American judge Brian Egger, and Chinese judge Andy Yen? All right, here we go. This is Peter Vinchek, that Wordhouse 2JZ S15. Nice job there, lighting up the Falcon tires. Now Peter wrapping around that, and taking out that Black Magic. The first driver actually to hit that was pretty intense. See what I did there? Black Magic tire shine, intense.
So for those of you keeping track at home of the scores, Peter is sitting on a 74, looking to better that. His teammate James Dean up in front, 91. You can see much better job from Peter on the second run. Really going from wall to wall there, Ryan. Smooth transitions, good throttle control through outer zone number 2. Looks like an improvement from Peter here on run number 2.
Yeah, I definitely say that is the case. Hit that last standing inside clipping point on the very end of the course there, but I don't think that'll affect his line score too much.
We are live around the globe. Nice casual Friday, seeing some fans enjoy the beautiful weather we're having. You can see the wind kicking up. It's not supposed to be as windy tomorrow. Looking at the forecast, I know through the night saw a lot of wind doing some damage to some of these tents, but a lot of sponsors here on display. So fans joining us, skipping school or skipping work. 87, and 87 does better his first score. So the debut of the Polish driver, Peter Vinchek, scores a better score on his second run. So that Wordhouse Drift Team, Falcon Tire S15. Next up is to be Little Tex, Nate Hamilton. You can see him, his brake lights illuminated, talking to our start officials.
Nate Hamilton's probably going to have to call 5. We just found an issue with his car.
Okay, so.
So you may have heard a little bit of a leak there. Nate Hamilton, his vehicle being inspected on the grid, inspected on the grid, finding something that looks a little bit dangerous there, so they're going to pull him off grid, and that will enact his competition timeout. Now, it is only one competition timeout for the entire 2 days of competition here, so if he is able to make it into tomorrow's competition, which right now he is in a situation where he is not because he has that 0. If he does get a score on this run, he will be without a competition timeout, which is very, very beneficial if you ever get yourself into problems. But let's just see if he makes it to the line after this competition timeout happens before we get to that, and we'll move on to the next driver. Looks like it'll be James Dean, who is sitting in first place right now, tied with 2 other guys at a 91, Jared.
Yeah, so we say that unofficially tied, 3-way tie, because 91 with Alex Hilbrun, and then who was the other driver? It was right there. It's right there. James Dean, Von Gittin Jr. and Alex Hilbrun. So Nate Hamilton, and to reiterate that, Nate Hamilton, you only get 1 competition timeout. He's got that 0, so he has to use it. So that's a big bummer there for Nate Hamilton. Right now, James Dean, the other driver of the Wordhouse Drift Team Falcon Tire S15, coming to us from Ireland, Castletown Rock, Ireland. And James Dean with that 91. So this is opportunity knock-in for him. Can he get a fast pass from today into the top 16 tomorrow on his let's call it what it is, his coming back to Formula Drift here in the States.
Yeah, not so much of a maiden voyage, but
No.
definitely a long, long break, and the series was way different back then.
So James Dean initiating. Coming into view of the judge, you see him turn on the smoke machine. Good transition. See a little bit of correction there, massaging it into the second rear clipping zone. Quick little touch and go, and dialing and zeroing in on that Black Magic Intense Tire Shine clipping point.
Well, not too dissimilar from run number one. You can see really checking the boxes, as we said the first time around. Tiny adjustment coming out of outer zone number one, but Ryan, this looks very, very similar. You can see a really quick rate to angle there on initiation, which is very impressive, just about 6 to 8 inches off that wall, maybe 4 or 5 inches off that wall, and then a little bit of adjustment there. I mean, this has got to be close to that 91 in my estimation. What do you think about the run here from Dean?
Very, very smooth. Love the transitions. He's getting almost full lock to full lock, wall to wall, which is exactly what we're asking for. Really smooth, like you said, only one little correction after outside zone one. So overall, this is going to be probably a pretty high-scoring run.
Sam Cascani in the building. Sam's Autoland. How we doing, bud? Good old Samwell. All right, so we are awaiting our next driver, awaiting the score. And there it is. James Dean, a 96. So look at that.
Wow.
91, a 96. A definitive strong presence there. But Hilbrun and Vaughn, can they better a 96?
That's a big ask. 96s do not happen often. If you follow the series and you know it intimately, you know just getting into the 90s was challenging last year, and the criteria hasn't shifted so much that it should change the actual numbers. You know, with the judges looking at sectors, in fact, it actually should probably be a little bit harder to get those scores because the entirety of those sectors is being judged as opposed to points and outer zones.
All right, so Gorgi, here we go. NGK Sylvia S15 coming up from Russia. Well played there from Gorgi. And around that final clip, this is do or die for the Formula Drift rookie from Russia. He did I'm looking at your notes here, and he did have a 0, correct, on his first run?
Yeah, so this is really where a spotter comes in. Settle your driver. Hey, look, you just need to make a scoreable pass. It doesn't matter what the score is. You're going to get into tomorrow's competition. And Gorgi looks like he does just that. No major mistakes. Not a very, very high-scoring run, but he will get into competition tomorrow, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Gorgi Chipchan. Lantain, what do you make of his second run here? And as Brian was just explaining, he just needed to get a score on the board.
Yeah, what I didn't like was the transition from touch and go one to outside zone one. It wasn't the big snappy initiation that we just saw from James, but more of a little bit less angle and almost driving from one wall to the other as opposed to transitioning. So there was that, and then a little bit lacking on angle from outside zone two over to the horseshoe.
The horseshoe? We've never called it the horseshoe.
I just did, I'm sorry.
It's an incomplete run. It's a peninsula or a hairpin. The horseshoe exists in Atlanta. And there's the score for Gorgi there, a 73 for the Russian driver. I asked the spotter how to pronounce his name and said, just call him Gorgi. That's it. That's how he's known. Just call him that. Dan Burkett. Dan Burkett here on his second run. Great looking car. Looks the part. Formula Drift Pro rookie. Rat Industries getting all the way out to the tire. You can hear him banging away on the rev limiter. Popping through. Fun driver to watch. Like I said, very good looking. Oh, and taking out that Black Magic Intense Tire Shine clip.
Well, he is going to be safe. He's got a 60 on run number one, so he'll be okay here. And Dan, also one of the few drivers from Pro 2 opting to take that Pro license and come up to the Pro Series. Definitely a big jump, but starting off pretty strong here. Getting a score, getting into tomorrow's competition. So good job by Dan. Makes a little bit of a mistake here towards the end, but he knows that he's got that backup there, and he'll be okay.
Car just seems like he's just fully pinned on it. I mean, you could hear the exhaust note, you could see the car. Just needs to just find that sweet spot. So that is an unscorable run on a second run. So that is an incomplete run on a second. But as you said, Ryan, comfortable position. He does have a score. He will be seen head-to-head competition tomorrow. Where he lands is TBD, to be decided. So a 60 on his first run stands to be the better of the two. Jeff Jones, where are my Jeff Jones fans at? I heard you earlier. Picked up a sponsorship from Edelbrock. He's got a supercharged LS now under the hood. And here comes Jones. Touch and go. Snappy transition, some wavering there. But now gets it dialed into that rear clipping zone. Ryan, you gave him the nickname Relentless, and I think that's really stuck. Just his whole attitude, and as you said, kind of a great coming-of-age story.
Yeah, Jeff sitting on a 71. For those of you following at home on the live bracket, you can see initiates here. Big e-brake pull, then a second one here. If you could dissect a little bit of what you see here from Jeff Jones and what he could do tomorrow in his lead runs as a tandem driver, Ryan.
His car just didn't look settled as he transitioned there between the touch and go and outside zone 1. He made it out to outside zone 2 really well, but the car needs to be a little bit more settled, so his fluidity score is definitely going to suffer right now, but he's got to clean it up a little bit. It looks like he's on the wheel a little too much and maybe trying to over-control the car.
And that's kind of his style, man. I mean, just you can't expect anything from Jeff Jones except he just goes all out. Like he's a maniac, man.
Just hearing from the technical staff an update on Nate Hamilton, it looks like the issue that he had was just a precautionary one from our tech team that wanted to make sure that the vehicle was safe. It was. He's not going to be charged with the competition timeout, so he will have that for tomorrow. But simply just needing to put a zip tie back in place.
All right, so that's good news for Nate, but he still has to have a run. He still has to have a score in order to see tomorrow's action. And the results are in for Jeff Jones is 77. 77 puts him into 15th position. So as again, reiterate, Nate Hamilton's car is back up and running. He will have his second go. He has a 0 on his first run, so it's do or die for Little Tech's Nate Hamilton and the 144 in Juku Racing. S13, here we go. Hamilton, he needs to put a score on the board. Nice job by him, initiating into the touch and go. Hankook tires being lit up into that rear clipping zone. Very fluid and off the line though as far as the rear clipping zone, especially on that second one. But he does get a pass, so that fortunately for him, he'll have some time to dwell on what happened there and what transpired.
So Hamilton looks like he will be safe here. Jared, as you mentioned, big arc into initiation, grabbing that e-brake, heading into the touch and go area here. Tries to get out deep, but not filling it all the way. A little bit better job there on outer zone at number 1, but a bit off there on outer zone number 2, Ryan.
On initiation, you had a bit of hesitation. You could see he did a little bit of a feint, and then the car straightened up as you grabbed the e-brake and then went to angle. So he got dinged a little bit on the initiation, but fairly smooth throughout the rest of the course.
Ryan, who do you think, like right now, let me just put you on the spot, who do you think is going to win the championship this year?
Oh, we're way too early.
I don't know. All right, so real quick. Nate Hamilton's score, a 75, puts him into 16th position. So Nate Hamilton with a 75.
Yeah, it's so hard.
I mean, looking at it?
It's hard to say, you know. I mean, there's so many great drivers, and there's so many guys that have I'll just say this. I would say anybody that came this year with a brand new program has a lot more work to do.
Okay.
But, you know, let's take a look at Robbie's run.
Robbie Nishida, a gentleman that has been banging away on this G37. Good transition, looking strong right now. Fluid, going through the course. Looks dynamic. I think he's going to miss some points in the line category, but look at the car. Looks like it's got some muscle for sure.
So Jared, Robbie Nishida looking to better a 72 as we take a look at the run here. Coming out of the chicane, heading down the front straight into initiation here. And Ryan, interesting to get your take on this. We've seen some drivers like James Dean actually have that quick rate to angle. How much emphasis do you guys put on initiation as we take a look at Robbie's run?
So we have 10 points allotted to initiation. we break that up into 3 different subcategories, I guess you could call them. We have rate angle, we have where they're initiating, so we have a latest initiation cone, and then we have how smooth the rotation is as well. Is it to big angle and then have to pull some out to get through the corner, or you get to big angle and maintain it all the way through?
And you guys don't necessarily have a preference whether it's a straight line approach or if it's a weight transfer or one of the other techniques that drivers can use, so long as they are following the criteria and doing the things that you guys are asking of them.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We try to give them the ability to have a little bit more of their personal flair or style come through in the initiation.
So Nishida does better his first score. He got a 72 on his first run. Now on his second run, a 77. A 77 for Nishida. Next up, we are seeing Cameron Moore. Cameron Moore in that nameless performance prepared BN Sports. Nexen Tire GT86 from Battleground, Washington. The Butcher. There will be blood. We'll see. I puts it down. Cameron Moore into view. You see a little hiccup there on initiation. Foregoing the touch and go, but can he get it tight? Good execution. You're seeing some wavering there, but now cleaning it up, transferring into that final front clip. And there is Cameron Moore.
Just taking a look, Jared, at Cameron Moore's run. I'd love to get Lantain your take on the first half of the run here as we go through it one more time. As Moore initiates, he kind of has a little bit of a hiccup. You guys used the term not settled quite a bit here. What do you see right here that happens to Cameron Moore?
He almost straightened up right there. He had almost a triple initiation at that point, so that is not what we're looking for in the initiation. He definitely lost angle through there, but it didn't seem to affect too much of the rest of his run too severely. He was off a couple of things here and there, but that initiation was not the prettiest. I'm gonna bring that back for you, Jared.
Kill me.
I know.
All right, so yeah, there you go. You guys are up there on the big screen, so a few fans join us here today. But if you haven't bought your tickets, I'd buy them. I mean, this event has been known to sell out before. So Cameron Moore, and it is a scoreable run on a second run, a 65. His first run, so 65 on a second run. His first score, a 68, proves to be the better of the two, and that currently puts him in the 21st position. So he will be seen head-to-head. Who he goes against to be decided. Here we go. So Kyle Mohan with a 0 on his first run. Can he put a score on the board? He's from right here in Long Beach. Wow. Ooh-wee. Oh, man. Kyle Mohan. Ah. You know, I'm always pulling for Kyle, man. Him and the Mohan family, they work hard. The dad's, you know, Mr. Mohan, he's running around, and it just, Kyle and his wife, they work hard, and that unfortunately, fortunately they kept it off the wall, but unfortunately that's 2 incomplete runs.
Well, the pressure was on for Kyle, and obviously this looks to be more of a mechanical situation, and a big bummer for Kyle. He is a hometown favorite, and unfortunately with those 2 double zeros, he will be out of competition for tomorrow, and what that does, Jared, is open up an opportunity for another driver to receive a bye in the top 32 competition.
Yeah, and we didn't take into account Farouk. I saw him in the stands as opposed to being down there on the track, but Kyle's wife just came over. She's his spotter, and she said car problems. We're having car issues. So unfortunately, Kyle Mohan will not be seeing competition. But right now, it's all about Pat Gooden. Pat Gooden, O'Reilly Auto Parts. Penzo on the front bumper. Black Magic, intense tire shine going and tapping the wall. And Pat Gooden. So
you know what was going on there for sure. He was going for it.
He was going for
it. That's a great save, though.
Do it for Dale, man.
Great save.
He's about to throw it down. That could have gotten really ugly, but
the tire wall did its thing, and I imagine the way that he brought the car in here. Let's take a look at this one more time.
See the frustration here from Pat.
Now he comes out of the gate here, Jared, just screaming.
Yeah.
You can see big e-brake pull, pushes out wide here. Great job. Now watch this transition to outer zone number 1. He hits there, pushes the car around, and does a great save going into the tire wall. And you can see the car drives away fine. He's got his 78, so he's in competition tomorrow.
Yeah.
But he was out there trying to get that bigger score and put on a show for everybody here watching live and on the live stream.
Doing it for Donna. Talking about his mom. I saw Saw his mom out here in the building. Always got to shout out Donna. So next up, so we are seeing Charles Ng and Farouk, neither driver able to run. So both Charles Ng and Farouk are a scratch, not only on their first run, not only on their second run, but for the weekend. So unfortunately, the Sogun BMW, both BMWs of Farouk and Charles are a scratch. So Jonathan Castro, Jordu Meteldon Nexen Tires, Toyota GT86. Nice job into the rear clipping zone, approaching that other one. Touch and go, and then into the final front clip. Wraps it around flawlessly on the Black Magic Intense Tire Shine front clip. Nice job there by Castro.
So Castro, run number 2 in the books for him. Let's take a look at this on the replay one more time. Nice smooth initiation there. Looking to better his first run of a 77. Missing that touch and go a little bit. Like to see him get deeper into that outer zone. Ryan, you can see both those outer zones. You like to see him get a little bit more, a little bit closer to those outer zones, but on that last inside clip, tightens it up there.
Overall, a really good run. Just again, needs to widen that line. He needs to make it a little bit more aggressive. He's doing a good job of getting the car close to those zones with really good throttle commitment, and the car is transitioning really smoothly as well. But again, just needs to widen that lineup, and he'll really get his score a lot higher than what it's going to be.
Yeah, we saw that with a few drivers. Matt Kaufman as well, gonna just widen the line, as you said. But a 78 on his second run, so still a credible score. A 77 on his first run, but he betters it with 1 point, and it's the better of 2, and the second one proves to be higher. That's a 78 for Castro. So Alex Hilbrun, currently 3-way tie. So Dean betters it with a 96. Can Alex Hilbrun? Oh, doctor, that could have gotten ugly, or that could have been insane. Do you see the angle? If he was going to snap that back, oh man, he is uncorked right now. The Inca Maya Racing from Peru, IMR. He calls it the Monster BMW, the V8. Under the hood, that thing is a beast. Let's look at this again, Ryan.
Well, no doubt he had the intention of trying to beat that 96 from James Dean. Right. Watch the angle here coming out of the touch and go here. Big angle, but then just too far across the course. He knew he might have made contact there, so he's not going to get the 96, but Alex really throwing it out there for everybody. Any takeaways from you, Ryan?
It looked like all he needed to do was, a couple of % less on that touch and go, and he would have had it. He just had too much angle, and he couldn't get it out quick enough to get the car rotated for outside zone 1. But that, like you say, would have been an amazing run had he held it together.
All right, so as Alex awaits his score. So as you can see, nice mellow day here at the O'Reilly Auto Parts, Streets of Long Beach, round 1. Round 2 traditionally has always been at Atlanta, but this year we actually go to Orlando for round 2 and then up to Atlanta at round 3. And there's Alex Hilbrun's score. So a 68 on a second run. The 91 obviously stands to be the better of the two, puts him into second position. So there will again be a dedicated autograph session after qualifying. That'll be at 4 to 5 o'clock as we advance on Juha Rintanen. Juha Rintanen on his second run. Whoa, look at that. Everybody's stepping it up here as the STR wheels wrapped in Nexen tires make their way through the course. And he pushes that final front clip out of the way. What kind of score did we see from Juha, Ryan, on his first run?
So looking to better a score of 83. So a nice score from Juha on run number 1. And there you go in the background, you can see Denofa there. So it looks like he's going to make his pass. Definitely a lot of pressure for him. But let's take a look at Juha. You can see here, not getting out to that touch and go, but right there, scraping up against outer zone number 1. Decent job on outer zone number 2 here. Ryan, from your perspective, if you were to compare on an 83, is he in that range? Is he better?
Well, I'd say that he did a better job of calculating where he needs to gain his points, and he's taking, a bit of a hit on the touch and go, which is only worth 5, and going deep into outside zone 1 and outside zone 2, which are both worth 10 points each. So potentially, he's going to better his score in that way.
Can Juha better it? We're about to find out. Hashtag FDLB and Juha Rintanen, an 82 on his second run. So his first score, 83, is the better of the two. Currently at number 10 qualifying position. And here we go. This should be exciting. This is the maiden voyage for Chelsea Denofa. Chelsea Denofa debuting his BC Racing Nitto Tire Ford Mustang RTR. Rounding out that two-car Mustang team. Chelsea bringing it into that rear clipping zone. Nice job. Really dialed on the line. Oh, and a hiccup there approaching that final front clip. You saw that straight line approach, but he did keep the angle there. So there it is. Chelsea Denofa turns some Nitto tires for the first time.
Yeah, I was going to talk about pressure. New team, new responsibilities.
Your vehicle.
Your team owner watching on. Better make it, Chelsea. And he starts off real strong right there with a big whip on initiation. He doesn't get out to that touch and go. You can see as he transitions back around here, much better job on that first outer zone. And then right here, Jared, as you say, he has a little bit of a long approach here, kind of straightens out a little bit, but he keeps the angle in the car. And Ryan, from your perspective, it'll be a scoreable run, I imagine, just maybe not a super high score.
Right. That was the best initiation I've seen here this year yet.
Really?
That was, yeah, the way that he snapped to angle so fast and maintained the angle all the way through that corner, that was fantastic. There was only a little shimmy in the front wheel there, so really, really strong there. You'd have to wonder if that light hit that he had earlier was what caused him to miss his first run in qualifying, so maybe there was a little something up with the front suspension, and you'd have to wonder if that affected this run at all.
And yeah, you mentioned that a hit. That was in practice you're talking about.
It was in practice.
To clarify
exactly. Yeah, he had a little, the front end tapped the wall on outside zone 2 just before it, and I don't know how much damage was done, but it could potentially have been what happened. So the total was a 72 for that run, 72 for Chelsea Denofa.
Okay, so yeah, thank you, Lantain.
You're welcome.
So 72 for Chelsea Denofa. He does get a score. That means he will be seeing head-to-head competition in the debut of him behind the wheel of a Ford Mustang. So rounding out that RTR team. And it's really interesting to see how he's going to drive it compared to Vaughn, which we've seen, in a Mustang, and JTP, Justin Pollock. They all look very different driving styles, and with all the assortment of GT86s too, it's really interesting to see the diversity there as well. So next up, Matt Kaufman. Matt Kaufman from Medford, Oregon, Nexen Tire. Kaufman Racing 959. Oh boy, using all the course, tapping the wall, transitioning. So got out to the touch and go, but compromising, getting out to that first rear clipping zone, and now massaging around that final clip. Great looking car, aggressive, that Ford V8 under the hood of the S13. Matt Kaufman, a fun driver to watch, really putting it out there.
Well, that first touch and go was pretty insane there. You can see the back of the vehicle crumple a little bit. It doesn't really affect his line too much. We'll have to see what Ryan thinks about this. But right here, Ryan, you can see he taps a wall there. He keeps most of the angle in his car. He does have a little bit of a flub. How do you guys interpret something like that? Yeah, that would be a very small detriment to his fluidity score on that side of things. But I think that the commitment that he showed in this run is really going to outshadow that little mistake that he made. That was full throttle commitment all the way through, and really good rotation as well, except for that one little bobble coming off the wall.
All right, so some fans up there on the big screen. Right on. Hashtag FDLB, let everybody know you're watching today, and of course, you're watching tomorrow. It all kicks off here in Long Beach, and who's coming out to Irwindale? The final round. All right, so we are finding out, is that a 90, a 9-0? A 9-0, that is a 90. That was a 90 there for Matt Kaufman. A great score there for Matt Kaufman, the Kaufman Racing 959 on Nexen Tires. Seeing a lot of the drivers join us up here. They're watching their competition. James Dean up here, currently your #1 qualifier. He's joined up here by his Wardhouse teammate, Peter. Peter, a Formula Drift rookie, but James Dean currently our #1 qualifier. That 96. Here we go. This is another Irish driver, Dean Carnage Carney. Oracle Lighting. Achilles radial Dodge Viper going hard into the touch and go. Look at that, just burying that thing into the wall, but it keeps it moving. The Viper bites back, makes some noise for Dean Carnage Carney, putting it out there, hard working, getting the car late last night, back up and running, and Dean throwing caution or Viper to the win.
Well, no matter what this score is, this is a really solid piece of driving here in terms of saving the vehicle and knowing what to do with the car. Excellent car control. You can see right there he taps. Now as he approaches this first outer zone, he could have thrown the car and tapped the wall there and possibly risked the vehicle. He kept it consistent, or he kept it conservative. He was able to know where the vehicle was on the course at any given time. He's probably going to end up bettering his 71, so a nice piece of driving there, not only in saving the vehicle, but just overall by Dean Carney.
Yeah, that could have gone south really quick for Dean, but again, this is that point of contention. Guys, Ryan talked about it. 5 points on the touch and go, 10 on the rear clipping zone. You know, it looks great going to touch and go. That's the impact, or you know, the initiation, and that's the impact that the judges are looking for. But if you just throw into the wall right out of the gate, and you could write the whole thing off. And that is going to be an 80, an 8-0 for Dean Carnage Carney on his second run. In the Oracle Lighting Dodge Viper. Ryan, what did we see on Dean's first score again?
He had a 71, so he was able to bump it up by a number of points.
Okay, so that's good. That's a good confidence builder. The car's running good. It's running right. Next up is to be Mike Essa, but we're hearing that he is foregoing his second run because he does have a score on the board.
He does have a pretty decent score on the board, an 81. Not sure why he's departing from the start line there. It may be something with his vehicle, but it sounds like from what we're hearing from race control that he is opting out of run number 2, and that'll put us to Justin Pollock, who is the last driver, or the second to last driver in the remaining field that needs a score in order to move on into tomorrow's competition.
Yeah, so JTP Justin Pollock has a 0, as well as Daijiro Yoshihara. So those two drivers, these Formula Drift veterans, not having scores.
Oh, actually, and Kristaps too, it looks like.
Oh, and Kristaps Blues. Yeah, you're right. All right, so look at this. The inaugural Gremlins showing their ugly head here, even for JTP Justin Pollock. All right, so, okay, we are ready to send JTP. You can see Kristaps Blues in the back. Here comes Justin Pollock. Roush Performance, Falcon Tires, Ford Mustang. There we go. You can see him, some wavering. Nice, throwing it into that. That's Justin's style. He likes to go for that big impact, and it pays off this time. He did get a little bit off of that rear clipping zone, but the impact that a lot of the fans love JTP for, that's what he likes to do. He throws it out quick, hard, and fast, snappy.
I would love to hear the transmission of spotter to driver there. Hey, Justin, keep it chill. You just got to get a score. Nah.
Right over there.
Nah. Great job by Justin here, coming with a lot of pressure in run number 2. You can see he flubs a little bit there, but watch this right here. Boom, big angle. Now, that could have been a spin out. He keeps angle in the car, pushes all the way through. And even though a mistake on the first part of the run, Ryan, pretty impressive on the latter half.
Yeah, that was an incredible transition, and he just hit that wall enough that the bumper moved, but it didn't affect his line. It didn't affect his angle. But I think the rotation, because he did it so aggressively, it did keep him off of outside zone 2 a little bit. But overall, a very aggressive run. I don't know if that was in response to our 0 on the first run, but he got an 81 for this run, so that's a pretty solid score.
Oh, it's in response to you.
Yeah,
maybe.
An 81 there for JTP, Justin Pollock. I like what you said there, Ryan. Ryan, you know, spotter to Justin. Keep it chill, keep it chill. Nah, not even once. That's funny. All right, so another driver that has a 0, Christoph Blues in this HGK, the mass-powered Motul BMW from Latvia. We saw him really flourish last year in Orlando. How is he going to put it down here in Long Beach? Doesn't get all the way to touch and go, but going hard at the rear clipping zone. Well played. Into the touch and go there, and dialing it in, zeroing in that HGK. Christos Blues.
Well, we mentioned this a lot last year during subsequent events after Orlando, Jared, that it was really clear to us that Christoph had the fastest car on the grid in Orlando, and it was deadly scary, and he would have won that event in one more turn, just made that mistake there. You can see Christoph's tons of smoke right out of the gate. Now, he doesn't get out to the touch and go. A little bit better job there, but after not going through run number 1, he's just trying to get a score here, right, Ryan?
Yeah, that was a fairly aggressive run considering he needed to put a score down here. He didn't go as wide as he could have, but definitely on the throttle the way he should have been, throwing the car at outside zone 1 pretty aggressively, so not holding back very much.
No risk it, no biscuit. So he needed to put it out there, and a score he did put down. Where it is and what it is, we're about to find out. Sounded like you called Lantaine Rai Rai, because you said right Ryan. You calling him Rai Rai? You got pet names for Lantaine over here? Lantagne? Sounded like he called you Rai Rai. Rai Rai? And an 81 for the Latvian lover. That is Christos Blues, an 81 for Christos Blues. All right, so we are seeing what's going on here on the start line. Next up was to be Alec Honadel, but I believe he's having some issues. Ryan, what are you hearing?
Well, we are hearing that it looks like Alec Honadel will need a tow. We can see the truck going out on the track now, so we'll have to get Alec off the course and probably take a quick break and come back and reset for the next run, which will be hopefully Alec taking his second run. He does have a score on his first run of a 67, but definitely wants to better that. He will probably have to use his competition timeout. Otherwise, we'll move on to Ryan Turk, who's got a 90.
Okay, so yeah, again, we'll take a quick break here, but just to let you know, tomorrow Top 32 begins airing at 10:45 a.m. That is local Pacific Standard Time, and Top 16 begins at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So stay tuned. When we come back, more action here on the streets of Long Beach. So O'Reilly Auto Parts, Streets of Long Beach, round 1 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. When we come back, we'll continue more battles here, or excuse me, more runs, their second run of qualifying.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 50 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
When you love your car, you wish you could check on it anytime, from anywhere. Blackview Cloud-connected dash cams let you do just that. Your Blackview keeps you informed of status changes through alert messages. So when something unusual happens to your car, you can visualize it on your phone with Remote Live View and stop worrying. Blackview over the cloud. Me and my car connected. Find yours at blackview.com.
The Falcon Wild Peak MT tire features step-down supports to enhance stability and handling while preventing stones from becoming trapped in the grooves. Be ready for any terrain with the Falcon Wild Peak MT.
We're here for the teachers, the people who explain how to do it and why. For over 50 years, teachers have relied on O'Reilly Auto Parts because we understand the value of keeping vehicles and traditions running strong. Sharing what we know and showing them how. Turning that problem into a problem solved. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Parts, better prices every day.
Oh, wow. You're Kyle Busch.
Yeah. Hi.
And that is the new Nas Rowdy drink?
That's it.
Can I get a picture?
Sure, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Oh, no.
Get rowdy.
What's up, guys? Ryan Turk here, and I'm really pumped to announce that we're bringing on my good friend Chris Forsberg on the team Black Magic. Woo! Let's make it official, bro.
When I was a kid, I wanted to touch the skies.
I wanted to invent things.
I wanted to protect others.
I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to make a difference.
I knew that one day I would be the difference.
I am a special missions aviator.
Clinical nurse.
Pararescueman.
I'm Captain Chris Niels, and we are American Airmen.
See more at airforce.com.
When you love your car, you wish you could check on it anytime, from anywhere. Blackview cloud-connected dash cams let you do just that. Your Blackview keeps you informed of status changes through alert messages. So when something unusual happens to your car, you can visualize it on your phone with remote live view and stop worrying. Blackview over the cloud. Me and my car connected. Find yours at blackview.com.
Welcome back here to O'Reilly Auto Parts, Streets of Long Beach, round one. We are definitely making our way through the second qualifying run of all our drivers. And it looks like Alec Honadell, he got towed off, and we will not be seeing his second run. Is that a 67 right there? Yeah, so not the greatest score for Alec Honadell. We'll see if, okay, so he is a scratch. He's foregoing his second run, keeping that competition timeout. We will see him tomorrow in competition. Right now, Ryan Turk on the start line in the Gum Out Nameless Performance Hankook Tires Toyota 86 from New Hampshire. See what Ryan Turk's got here on his second run. He has a 90 on his first run, the 2JZ powered Toyota 86. Initiating into the first turn. Nice job. Transitioning through. Very fluid. You can see some corrections there from the front wheels, just precisely dialing it in and around that final clip. So Ryan Turk putting it down. The 1552 wheels wrapped in Hankook tires. Continue through the course. Ryan, is that enough to beat a 90? What do you guys think?
Well, he's on a 90 right now, and obviously James Dean is holding strong at that 96. I don't think this is going to do it. Just didn't have kind of the dynamic nature that James has had. He got really close to that first outer zone. Decent job on that touch and go, and really ticked all the boxes here for Turk. It's going to be close to his first run. We'll see how it goes. Ryan, any comments here from Turk on run number 2?
He was very committed on the throttle. Car rotated really well. He filled the zones pretty nicely. Andy said, what did you just say? Pretty gorgeous lock. That is a direct Andy quote. from the angle judge.
Lock?
Yeah, gorgeous lock.
Okay.
So that was.
Talking about his hair?
That's
his lock of hair?
Not locks. Lock on the front wheels.
All right, so Ryan Turk's first score a 90, and now his second score a 96. A 96 for Ryan Turk puts him up in the mix, so that puts him into the number 2 position, given that James Dean had a 96 and a 91, and now a 96 and a 90. So the combination of those two scores equate to Ryan Turk unofficially being at number 2 position. All right, Sage, here we go. Ken Gucci finished 7th last year. Gretty performance. Nexen tires. Boost Brigade. Oh, 86, shutting her down. Ryan, you're talking about at Media Day, just strengthening the car, making it just more dialed, strengthening the points of I don't want to say weakness, but the points that gave them problems last year, chasing those down. He does have a score, but it's unfortunate what happened here.
Yeah, I mean, even as you strengthen the vehicle where you saw weaknesses, gremlins can always rear their head and things pop up. But they said they really focused on, hey, these are the things we had problems with last year. How can we either mitigate those to the best degree possible or come up with a solution that's going to be able to strengthen them so we have more confidence. And, Ken feels really strong about the car. He's got an 86 on his first run, so he's certainly up there in the top 10, top 5. And he will shut it down for run number 2, and we'll move on to our next driver. And this is the final remaining 0 of the top competitors, or excuse me, the top 30 competitors that we have here is Daijiro Yoshihara. So big pressure here for him as he tries to complete run number 2.
All right, so we are, and here we go. This is Daijiro Yoshihara's second run, turn 14 distribution. Subaru BRZ on Falcon tires. Yeah, throwing it down, Dai Yoshihara. Good execution. This already had an issue on his last run. It looks like he will massage it around that Black Magic Intense Tire Shine front clip. Speaking of clip, what's up, Ola Clip? How we doing, Tim? Don't see you exactly. Let's look at it again here. Ryan Sage.
So another example, Jared, of just a driver trying to complete a scored run. Ryan, any takeaways here from Dai? Do you think he's just nervously trying to get through the course here? You can see he doesn't get out to the touch and go there, but any takeaways from Daijiro Yoshihara?
Well, his run was very fast, but we don't really care about fast. We'd rather you fill all the zones, hit the touch and go, get the inside clip, but he's very fast. He did miss, like you said, quite a few of those zones and outside zones and touch and go areas. So his line score, I think, is going to suffer. He had pretty good angle. His fluidity was good, and he was pretty committed throughout the course, but he could widen his line to really improve that score.
Ryan, here we go. We are waiting for Dai Yoshihara's score. Then, all right, Dai Yoshihara with a 78. A 78 on his second run, a 78 on his second run. So a good score there for him. We are getting now into the top 5 drivers from last year's standings. And you can see the teal and blue twins. But I don't say twins, they're not identical because Matt Field with the neon yellow mirrors and kind of lip liner there. And then Odi Bakshis with the orange. So Matt Field, 777, the beast from the Bay. Here we go. Supercharged V8 under the hood. Ready to throw it down. The drift cave, Elite Caveman into view of the fans. Coming down the chute, under the bridge. Some angle there from Field. Shallowing up there on the rumble strip. And shedding some weight there. That back bumper just flying off. All right, so clean up there on aisle 10. Let's take a look at this run again here, Ryan.
Well, Matt Field also sitting on a pretty solid score here. Looks like an 85 on run number 1. But I don't know that he's going to get back up there. He may be close, but he does not get out to that touch and go. Snappy transition there, but Lantini doesn't get all the way out to outer zone 1. And you really need to do that in order to maximize points.
You really do. He missed quite a bit, and at the finish line here, you can see where he finished more on the inside of that corner than he did really wide, which is what we're looking for. So that line will, because we're now doing sectors, that mistake at the end will be tied into the last inside clip. unfortunately. So very aggressive, really pushing on the throttle, but just not getting the car in the right position throughout the course.
All right, so we find out the score of Matt Field, a 78. A 78 for Matt Field on his second run. That's a 78 for Matt Field. All right, so finishing 4th last year in the championship, just outside that top 3 spot, a real contender. He's back behind the wheel of a proven S chassis. He knows how to get it done. Again, I've seen him just develop over the years from Vegas Drift to now a real contender for a championship. Odie Bakshis, here we go, now Falcon Tires, Art Performance, Drifts Wheels, S14. Beautiful day to roll down the windows and open the sunroof as Odie Bakshis, you get a great shot. Look at him just massage that thing right around the front clip and really garnering some applause from the fans here in the building.
Well, you can tell on initiation, Odie really pushes hard here. He tries to go right to lock, doesn't get all the way there, and he has to throw some e-brake in it, but pretty impressive there on initiation from Odie and wrapping back around here just a bit off that first inside clip. What do you think Odie's approach was here, Ryan, and what do you have to say about run number 2?
Yeah, it was a solid initiation. Did miss a couple of zones here and there, but overall really settled. The car looked really comfortable. He looked comfortable in the car throughout the course. Just could have been a little bit tighter on the wall on a couple of different areas.
Okay, so we are waiting for Odie Bakshis' score. And we'll get into the final 3 drivers. An 86, an 86, an 86 for Odie Bakshis. All right, well, this is a friendly reminder as we get to our top 3 drivers. Be sure to download the Formula Drift app, available for iTunes and Android. Go and search for the Formula D app. Download it for all the standings, updates, info, and free giveaways. Here we go, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Monster Energy, Nitto Tire. Remember, he has a 91 on his first run. Can he better a 96? Because we have 2 drivers at 96. James Dean still our number 1 driver. And Vaughn Gittin Jr. coming in with authority. Well played by Vaughn Gittin Jr. Captain clutch kick, throwing it down.
If you're just doing a side-by-side comparison of the first half of the course from Vaughn to Ryan Turk, Vaughn definitely was deeper into the touch and go and into outer zone 1. So this is going to be really interesting here because Turk was able to garner a 96 to go up against James Dean. You can see right there, wall to wall. I don't know that you can get much better than that. We'll see what Ryan, what do you think about outer zone 2 and the finish here from Vaughn Gittin Jr.?
Well, that first part of the course was phenomenal. Wall to wall, looked like lock to lock, no lift on the throttle, no e-brake. That is exactly what we're looking for through that sector. Outside zone 2, he might have been a little late getting into it, but he got pretty deep into the zone. And then the final part of the course didn't look too bad. Anything from you, Andy, on the line? Nothing. Pretty smooth, right? Yeah. So I think he's going to have a pretty good score on this one.
And Vaughn Gittin Jr.'s score is in. A 97 from Vaughn Gittin Jr. He takes that number 1 spot away from James Dean. Ryan Turk is right behind James Dean. So a 97, a 96, and a 96. Great driving there. And that just goes to show you that's just a taste of things to come for tomorrow because let's not rest on our laurels. We're cool with the 91. No, let's push harder. That just goes to show you Vaughn's like, hey man, if I can get a fast pass and push hard, that's pretty sick.
Well, we got a bird. James is actually sitting right down here in front of us, and when you announced that score, he clapped and was like, all right, yeah. I'll see you tomorrow.
Game, respect, game, right? So yeah, and again, we're seeing a lot of the drivers that have already completed. We've seen Dean Carnage-Carney down here, James Dean Peter. I saw Alex Hilbrun, he was cruising around, so it's cool to see all the drivers mingle. There is a dedicated autograph session after this, 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock over the NOS Energy Drink booth. Here we go. Former Formula Drift champion Frederick, the Norwegian Hammer Osbo, his brand new Rockstar Energy next entire Toyota Corolla IM. What are you going to see from Osbo? In that second rear clipping zone, here we go. In and to that touch and go and tightens it up. In the hot hatchback of Frederick Osbo. Make some noise for the Norwegian Hammer.
Well, extremely fast, and you're starting to see the potential of this IM Corolla here. And you can see he's really deep on initiations, very smooth transition here. Pretty tight there on the touch and go, but not as deep as Vaughn. So if we're comparing it to that 97 and even James's 96 and Ryan's 96, I don't think he got all the way out there. But from your position, Ryan, how did Frederick do compared to his first run of an 82?
Compared to the 82, I gave him more points on his on the style portion, just because his fluidity was better, I felt, and he was much more committed throughout the run. On his first run, he did make that mistake where he over-rotated at outside zone 1, which sort of took away his speed and wasn't allowing him to get out to outside zone 2. But I think on this run, he was much more comfortable and did a much better job all around.
All right, so the score there for Frederick Osbo on a second run, a 91 for Osbo, as he got an 82 on his first run, so he does better, a 91 for the Norwegian Hammer, your 2015 Formula Drift champion. All right, here's our final drive. Remember, download the app, Formula D app, with all the updates, and again, tomorrow we will be live around the world. Tomorrow, 10:45 a.m. for top 32 and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the top 16. Our final driver of the O'Reilly Auto Parts Streets of Long Beach Round 1, Chris the Force Forsberg, 3-time Formula Drift champion. And Nos entering 370Z, gets into the wall, gets the latter portion of that rear clipping zone, now dialing it in around that final front clip, taking it out. So maybe taking a few hints from what Vaughn did, throwing it down, got aggressive. You saw him tap the wall, but when he approached that outer clipping zone in front of the judging stand, seems like he just kind of skimmed it there towards the latter portion of that run. Ryan, let's take a look at this here again. What do you think?
Well, you know, Chris has got a shot here to better an 89 for sure. As he comes down into initiation, you can see very snappy there. Tries to go deep, getting all the way to lock. Pretty good job right there on the touch and go. Excellent here on that first outer zone. Just taps it there, but he does go very late into that second outer zone, Ryan, and I have to imagine that will be a slight deduction.
Yeah, and I think that stemmed from hitting the wall at outside zone 1. It seems to have kind of interrupted his rotation. It didn't straighten him up, but it stopped the car from rotating fully, and then it got him offline a little bit, which sent him a little bit late into outside zone 2. But that was a really aggressive, good run otherwise.
Probably. Trying to. I just got to work out schedule.
All right, so the overall score for Chris Forsberg was 87 on his last run, so he's off by 2 points from his original run. So 87 for Chris Forsberg.
All right, so an 87 there for Forsberg. Thank you, Lontaine. And thank you, fans, for joining us out here. Remember, tomorrow is the true essence of Formula Drift. There's the webcast times, top 32, 10:45 a.m. That's Pacific Standard Time, and top 16 beginning at 3 o'clock. Ryan Sage, any parting comments or expectations for tomorrow?
No, looking forward to a great day. Looks like we're going to have some awesome weather. Got a stacked field of competitors, and obviously from what we saw here in qualifying today, it's going to be an amazing tandem tomorrow.
Well, thank you for our judges. Thank you to the fans. Thank you to Ryan Sage. I'm Jared Dienda. We'll see you guys tomorrow. You saw the times. Download the app. Get all the information, schedules, updates, and some free swag courtesy of Formula Drift. Again, this is O'Reilly Auto Parts, Streets of Long Beach, Round 1 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship, presented by Blackview Dash Cameras. We'll see you tomorrow. Send it.